Hello, and welcome to Build Series Sydney. My name is Danny Clayton. I am your host, and joining me right now is a band which other bands in Australia describe as their mates. Melodic, intelligent dance floor anthems. Please, Safia. Round of applause.
Hello.
Hey everyone.
Thank you.
Hello.
That's
It
very
is true,
kind. I haven't heard those descriptions being given to us before, but that's very kind.
You've never
of
been
them.
called intelligent?
I haven't even.
Apart from myself,
Definitely not me.
not by other
Constantly.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good to see you guys, because you guys are like
Likewise.
almost like dance floor darlings amongst the scene, because everyone is like, oh yeah, my mates from Safia. It's like, are you really that popular? Do you really have that many friends?
I don't even know who you're talking about.
That sounds like someone in Canberra.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
We know everyone in Canberra.
I mean, I was going to save this statement and question later in the interview, but I'm going to throw it out there straight away. Canberra is the heart and soul of dance music in Australia. Discuss.
Wow, it's a big.
What are your thoughts?
It's a big statement.
Yeah.
I'll just say it's the heart and soul.
Oh,
Cut out the dance music
Okay.
and then of Australia.
Okay, just
Nah, that's a big call. That comes from a Canberra Canberran.
Yeah, we're very. What's that?
Pro-Canberra, so
Pro-Canberra.
yeah.
We're
We're looking for a
advocates.
job in the Canberra Tourism Board.
Oh,
obviously.
really?
Well, clearly, as
Show
we're
them
as
this.
we're as we're the
I'd
biggest
sign you up.
advocates for it.
Yeah.
But no, it is a great city. And dance music?
Mm.
Well, what, us and Peking Duck and the
Aston
Aston
Shuffle.
Shuffle.
Hey, don't you
Yeah.
speak ill about those or the?
We
No.
do.
No,
We say,
They're the
no.
dance
Our boys.
gurus.
I mean, admittedly, you did remind me that the last time I saw you was at Reuben's from Peking Duck's Bucks party.
This
which
is true.
Got a little bit wild. What are your memories from that Bucks party, Ben?
Yeah, don't ask.
There was a
Don't
lot
know,
of,
we weren't
there was a lot
invited.
of men,
Not invited.
a lot of men on a boat, but it was fun. And like with anything with the Reuben and Peking Duck, I think it was the most amount of nervous people I have ever seen beforehand. Everyone was kind of a bit terrified. This is Reuben from Peking Duck's Bucks party.
You know that
And
it's going to
everyone's
go
like,
down.
Really
And they
scared.
put it all on a boat, right?
But it actually it was quite nice and tame in the end. It was good.
It was
Yeah.
quite
was tame.
wholesome.
Well, like
a lot of
tamer
men-
than you would expect.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of male nudity.
Yeah, I
more
saw
than
some photos.
expected.
Oh, that sounds
I
terrible.
remember seeing
Yeah.
Benson definitely pretty much
Oh yeah,
naked.
yeah.
Oh yeah, DJ Benson definitely took the opportunity
rig off.
to get
Got
the
the
rig
rig
out. But look, I'd like to talk to you about a very exciting little movement that is about to occur around the airwaves of Australia and the world, and that is, of course, dun, 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 Stories Start or End. Your album coming out August 9.
Right,
Flip
and
that
nine.
around, yeah.
Gosh, this must be exciting for you. It's been a long time coming.
Oh,
What does it
man.
feel
Yeah.
like to have an album on the way?
Oh, well, this one has, like you said, it has been a long time coming. So it feels like we started this second record ages ago. We had so much time to think about it, and now that it's done, we're almost detached from it because we finished it a few months ago.
You've had so much time to just sort of let it sit
Yeah.
and simmer. I don't
Kinda
know.
like
I-
revisit it like a few
Yeah.
months later, and you're like,
Yeah.
this is going to be exciting. This is exciting. Yeah.
We've never had that experience before, because prior to this album, like, Internal was such a whirlwind of events. This is actually like, okay.
Yeah, it feels like all before we were chasing our tail, and now we had time to sit back and reflect. And so,
Yeah.
particularly for this one, so I think that's why this one maybe, like, I know I'm personally like really proud of what this is, regardless of how it's received. I think it's like the most authentic thing that we could have done in this time period, and without combined skills.
Yeah.
So
Because it's interesting when you have a group of people all contributing to a body of work. Sometimes people have different opinions on when it's done and when it's finished. So you're all very gifted as producers as well. How did you know that this bun was cooked and the oven could be opened?
Ooh.
that's probably where we struggle the most.
Yeah, it's
Really?
hard letting
Yeah.
go and
Yeah.
just be like, okay, this is complete. We're all perfectionists in our own way, and something that I see or I don't see, someone else will see, and I'll just be like, so it just perpetuates itself. It just goes around in circles sometimes, you know. If I think it's finished, and like Ben's like, no, what about this? I'm like, oh, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I suppose it creates a better product.
Yep.
The songs go through a lot of scrutiny and many layers of
Oh man.
revisiting them, and so and you know, we obviously that is susceptible to sometimes overdoing them, and
Yeah.
sometimes we do, and then often we come back to it and pull it back. But I think now with the three of us, and also with our friend who helped us mix it, who does our live shows as well, we kept it like a very close knit of people who worked on this record, like just really good friends of ours, who we had really good relationships with. And so I think amongst like all of those different points of the process, we were able to like really get to the heart and soul of what made each song good, and like make sure that there wasn't too much or too little around it. But yeah, we often have trouble because we are so involved in every step of the process with the music. Yeah.
And it sounds like you're kind of really spread across the album very evenly. But is there a Harry song? Is there a Michael song? Is there a Ben song? Are there songs that you kind of feel are more individually one of your efforts, like as a collective?
I don't know, because it's always like the spark starts from somewhere, and then by the time we've all
It feels very
had our
shared.
hands on it, like you kind of forget where that initial obviously there's like the initial idea, but then
Everyone
that
builds on it.
doesn't become the song until someone comes in and goes, okay, that's cool, I like it, and then throws their little bit of flavor on it. And sometimes it might need much, but it's not until you have that back and forth
Yeah.
to know
See, I think
to
Kind
push
of that
forward.
reassurance.
Yeah.
Like
maybe it'd be even
between each
harder
other's- Yeah.
to let go of a song if it was just you.
Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause then
yeah.
you'd just be like, oh,
I
man.
think there's any point where you can just be like, yeah, this is amazing. Like, you really need to get that reassurance from each other
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
make sure
But
that
I think everything I do is amazing. It's not until
yeah.
it's like, no, but it's like a natural instinct when you make something, when you create something. If you're cooking, if you're
You have
making
to. You have to
music,
believe
Yeah.
in
like it's
yourself.
something that came out of your brain. You're like, wow, this is fun, and because in the nature of making it, you remember it, and you're like, oh, this is really catchy.
Yeah.
I know it because I made it, and I know all the details. I know that like the back of it and the front and all the things on the side. So by nature, you think it's good. It's not until you have like that outside opinion. Firstly, that it even exists.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't exist until someone else confirms that it does exist.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
Wow,
so-
deep.
So, so I need that confirmation of existence from these guys, and likewise when they come to ideas.
Maybe you are just a
with me.
simulation
Well,
and that
that's
we're not
what I mean,
actually here. I don't mean to freak you out.
music
or-
is a very fine line between madness and
Yeah.
and look, we could easily just be
Philosophical?
we could easily just be sitting in a mental asylum right now, sitting at a wall.
Okay, so I do want to ask, how do you guys sort out your disagreements? Because naturally there are some times where you're like, oh, I want it to do this, or I want it to sound like this, and there could be two different ways to fry a steak.
Boxing.
Yeah, how do you how do you
Getting in the ring.
do you just get in the ring
Yeah,
and punch
whoever
on?
wins. No,
Yeah.
Greco-Roman wrestling. Yeah.
We're pretty
Dust up,
diplomatic.
get the chalk on the hands.
Yeah.
I
I
I
don't know.
I got a
think-
really weird mental
yeah.
image there too.
I
You
think
guys
it's
just-
important to give everyone's idea an equal look and opportunity to shine. And I think I was reading this thing about brainstorming the other day. Apparently that's a load of crap. Like, people don't actually get as much out of brainstorming because there's this kind of like anxiety of putting forth your idea and it being shot down.
There's
So I think
almost the expectation of that you're going to come up with something
Yeah.
when you brainstorm as well, and often when you place expectation on anything creative,
well,
nothing
it doesn't
comes
work,
out.
does it? You
Yeah.
get writer's
Obviously, you need intent, but
Yeah, I
to
mean they say
expect
that,
that you'll have something is just yeah.
no idea is a bad idea.
No.
block. Yeah. So we,
Exactly.
so we try to. I think no matter what it is, I think we try to just listen to everyone's ideas, understand why they want to do that, and try to find. I believe in finding a compromise and a happy. Everyone's happy in a way. What's that?
Yeah.
Happy
Happy
Compromise?
medium.
medium. Yeah, compromise. So
But I think we generally have the same view, like the same
Definitely.
direction in where the song needs to go, and it always ends up in the right place, I think.
It always
Yeah.
turns into a Safia
Like,
song,
there's
you
the-
know?
the- Yeah,
I think we're all
exactly.
really good at having foresight and being able to visualize the final product before, like,
Yeah.
even if you send something and it sounds terrible, it's a really early idea.
see the
I think
potential.
all of us, because we've been working together for so long, and we can see where it will end up, which is sometimes hard to do and like hard to remove yourself from the thing you're listening to right there and be like, okay, this is where that will end up, and like hear it inside your head, even though it doesn't quite exist yet.
So who are some of the names that we might recognize that you worked with and helped contribute to this album?
Well, like I said, we worked really closely with just close friends. So they're not necessarily big industry names, but they're people that we trust and that we knew would put every ounce of their heart and soul
They were
into
just
it.
as invested as we
Yeah,
were.
so
yeah, absolutely.
So our live front of house guy, Alex Gooden, he does a bunch of work behind the scenes for heaps of artists, and he's like one of the best live engineers in the country. He basically helped us mix this one, and he was a great kind of mediator as well, and he really got the vision for the record. And he doesn't do a lot of mixing and stuff, so it was kind of cool because we were working with a lot of people this was like their first real big project, or they'd done a few, but this was like kind of everyone's putting everything into it. So
yeah. Which is resulting in the new album out August 9. I have to check that it's a 9 and not a 6 real quick. I did want to talk about this because it's trippy as hell. What is this? Where did it come from? What was the reason and the purpose behind this image?
Well, the album, I think, especially sonically, you can take, this. We spent a lot of time on the depth from front to back, and I think you can take stuff initially on first listen on surface level, and that's fine if that's all people want to take from it. But I think within there's always this sense of two worlds, or two opposing halves, or two clashing. And so, if anything, we find that these images kind of represent the feeling of these different landscapes.
It's really funny, especially some of the words you used, because I remember watching a show, I think it was 2015, and you played at Oxford Arts Factory in Sydney.
Oh, yeah.
And I found the experience to be otherworldly.
Oh.
Sonically, there was these dramatic coloured lights, and I remember I was way at the back, and it just felt like a trip, something similar to a Daft Punk show where they try to take you somewhere else.
Wow, that's very kind.
I really enjoyed the show. I was like, I hope this is like, I was like, is every show like this?
That's kind of we've been working towards that to hopefully make it even
more
better than what you
otherworldly.
Described, but it's nice that even back then that you were seeing that, because we were still
still learning,
very fresh and didn't really know what we were doing. But
it's exactly right though what you're saying. We put a strong emphasis on trying to write music that kind of removes you from where you are and take you on a journey or a I don't know, you said trip. And I mean the live show is also what we try to do as well.
Yeah. So where are we going with the live show? Because I definitely want to talk to you about the arena shows that you did with 21 Pilots.
Oh, yeah.
But with the Safia tour, which is headline slot, you get to bring some mates along as you warm up, which must be exciting.
it's always fun.
But where are you going with the live show? How are you going to make this an experience?
Well, it feels like, as we said, we've been touring for so long in all these previous years, but like with each show, we've been able to learn a lot, take the best parts of that show and integrate it into, a newer, more defined experience. And we, I think, like really playing with the ideas of dynamics and almost like a theatre piece. And we want to make these songs really come to life and draw like the light and shade and really draw the audience's attention to certain moments.
So
And rather than
lasers
just
and
like
holograms? Are we
Yeah,
talking?
but
Like
rather than just
there was talk of that actually.
Yeah.
Don't know
we're
though.
very ambitious and until like we give our management aneurysms and they look at the budget. You're like, you want to do what?
Okay, let's go crazy. Let's say you have a Kanye budget.
It would be out of
What would be the ideal Safia live show?
Well,
Because-
hologram. We're talking about holograms. Like, we've got a song called "Counting Sheep," which is quite a like hypnotic kind of like strutty song. We're talking about maybe getting some holograms of some I don't know what it was, like maybe some skeletons or something marching.
But you couldn't afford the holograms, so you've got real skeletons now.
Yeah.
Just-
Yes.
Puppeteers.
Yeah.
Hired a bunch of them.
yeah. So that's it. That you want to kind of make this kind of space age kind of feel. I'm guessing.
I think whatever can really take the audience or the crowd into the world of the music. Like a lot of times, especially in this day and age, people often don't have the time or don't spend and really listen to music and really listen to what it can do. And
Is there an example that you're kind of thinking of?
I just think in a world where there's so much product,
Yeah.
it becomes overwhelming, and music almost becomes this like passive thing you hear in a cafe or on the radio, or whereas to really sit down and say put a vinyl on and really take it in, or even like when you'd have a CD and you put it in your car. You know, now I'm being very nostalgic of
Yeah.
good old days, but
I still use cassettes.
But I
don't know what
mean,
you're
like
talking about.
in that
CD.
sense, people still need that escape from music, and I think more than ever the live show provides that now, because it really gives them a chance to like focus their attention for the entire 4 minutes without any distractions, assuming
So-
they're not filming it
Yeah.
on the song and really feeling it in their core of
Yeah.
their being, and like, you know, that's the power of music when you really take it in.
You guys did perform with 21 Pilots in these huge arenas, and I mean, you just look at the footage from that particular show, and you are surrounded by just a galaxy of tiny little lights of people filming you, and it's sensational. How did that feel, walking out onto that stage in front of that many people?
Incredible,
It was
and especially that fan base in particular. You know, they're the kind of fan base that are there from the day before, 2 days before,
Yeah.
and they
They're camping in the line, aren't they?
and they're the kind of fans who, if 21 Pilots say we want to bring this band along, they'll take the time, listen to our music before it, and they knew it by the first show, even
Wow.
though they might not have known us before we got announced on that tour.
Yeah.
And so just the reception, and it was just felt so warm, and we kind of reciprocated and gave it our all on those stages, and it felt quite natural. It was really fun, and we learned heaps from
Yeah,
their
that show
as
is
well,
incredible. The
Yeah.
21 Pilot show.
Yeah.
No, that's an ambitious show.
Yeah.
Harry, what did you learn? Tell me something you learned from
from-
those shows.
From those shows. I think, what year was that? 2000?
2017.
17.
I think that is actually probably the year where I kind of, because I've always been kind of shy on stage. It's never been like, I've never liked to really walk around, but I think that one was kind of the one where I kind of came out of my shell. Probably not in that tour, but after it, I was like, I kind of learnt from watching them and being in that big arena. I think it kind of, I think I just got more confidence out of that, I think.
Yeah. It's interesting because Kim Moyes from the Presets, he was talking about doing those really, really big shows, those like Splendor shows and whatnot, where they had just people tearing into their tent. And he said that when crowds get that big, he says he can sometimes find it unenjoyable. And he says instead of being, groups of individual people, it just becomes this
Can be
one
hard to
giant,
It does, yeah.
massive
Yeah.
animal.
You do disassociate,
yeah.
but I think you feed off the collective energy if they're giving it back.
I like to find a few people in the crowd to perform to. That's
Yeah.
my thing. Not weird like that. I'm drumming. I can't.
Is it a
It's true
good-looking
though.
one? Is it the
I'm not biased. Anyone, as long as they're having a good time. Actually,
Yeah.
it's better when they're not, because you're like,
Yeah.
make you have
It's
a good time.
fun. It's always
I'm
fun
gonna
to
do it.
focus on the person who's clearly waiting for the artist after you at a
That-
festival.
yeah.
Like, stop looking at me, drummer.
Really?
I don't care about you.
which is the Jacob Stone from Blue Juice approach. He
Oh,
said
right.
he
Oh, really?
finds the grumpiest person in the crowd and he sings to them, which I think is hilarious.
So, Jake.
It is very, very Jake. And I mean, the first time I met you guys was 2012, Groovin the Moo. Blue Juice were playing. The Hilltop Hoods were playing. Andrew WK was on that tour.
Yeah.
The Party
Yeah.
Monster. And you guys were fresh.
Oh,
We were
yeah.
very
Yeah.
fresh.
Was that
We had no
2012?
idea what we were doing.
And it's funny because this is a festival that you've played.
We had like 2 songs, and then we had to kind of write some songs to fill out a set.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You played
Yeah.
demos. It's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weird demos. I can't even
Some, like,
remember
heavy
if
trap
we have them
songs.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It was wild.
What do you remember from that particular tour? Do you
What was that? The first GTM we ever did?
Yeah,
Is that that one?
yeah.
Yeah. Because you've played a few now. How many Groovin the Moos have you done?
Oh, we've just done the one in 2015, I think, just before.
Yeah, the tour. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you returned to the Groovin the Moo stages after you put a few notches on the board, how did that feel? Going back to the stage where you first kind of had your big break.
There's footage of me turning around to the camera being like,
I remember that.
people there.
Well, they're going to watch our show.
And then I looked at some guy like,
that
looking at
seemed
me.
to be the point where everything was kind of converging.
Yeah.
And everything was coming together, and then people were coming to our shows. Like,
yeah,
No,
that's amazing.
Because you guys won your competition to be on that tour initially, didn't you? How did you win
I
to
don't
get
know.
onto that?
Yeah. How did that happen?
How did that happen, considering you didn't have enough songs?
I remember Ben just being like, "Yeah, we're playing Groovins. Oh, that's sweet. How are we going to do that?"
And they actually got the call on my 21st birthday, so it was a great present. Yeah.
No way.
That's right.
Yeah.
I got the call from Ben at Dan Murphy's. I was like, oh,
Hey,
sick.
guys, we're playing
It's
Groovin
like,
the
Groovin,
Moo.
like, cool, man.
It did feel like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's
Because
amazing.
I was saying, but we put up our music with zero expectations. We were just doing it for fun. Like, we'll throw this up, and didn't think about it much. And then 2 months later, got to play on the radio. I'm like, okay, this must be all right. What we're doing? Let's make another one. And then like the competition came along, and we got the call, and and that kind of, if anything, that was the motivator. Because before we were always doing it for fun, and we always try and maintain that. Like, if we're not enjoying making music or playing together, we ask, why are we doing this? Like, we got to enjoy it. It's got to be, because as soon as music becomes work, you're not really writing your best music anyway.
No.
But if anything, that was like the motivator, the reassurance that, maybe something that we're doing here is good. And so we kind of kept working it from there and took it a bit more seriously.
Wow. So
Yeah.
basically, Groovin the Moo is the reason why you put your professional cricketing career aside.
No, that was alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh,
We are
yeah,
getting
that's-
questions from
that's
other
right.
folks.
Ooh.
Oh yes, that's right.
thought it was
So this one is from Anonymous. I'm sure it's a nickname. Right.
You're about to troll us.
You've played all over. What is your favourite festival gig you've played in Australia, and best stories from that gig?
These are always hard
Yeah,
questions.
there's
There's
so many
many
good festivals and good memories.
Or let's open it up. Maybe instead of Australia, around the world. I mean, you guys played in China.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was playing in
That was
China like?
incredible. Like, surprisingly incredible. They were just like the most. They just loved it up. Like, we walked out.
The microphone, Harry. Come
Sorry,
on.
I was just getting expressive. But yeah, we recently did a tour in China, and we kind of went into it kind of not expecting anything
Zero
really. Just like
expectation,
Mm.
they're not gonna know who we are at all. And then first show we come out, and it's just a bunch of phone lights in our face. We're like, oh my god, it was it was
amazing.
It was amazing. Yeah.
How wild.
Oh, it's so wild, man.
What about, what other countries have surprised you?
Well, all of them. I suppose whenever you go anywhere, to expect anyone to turn up, especially when you're like, how do they come across the music? Especially when you don't have such a strong medium as, say, like a Triple J that suddenly, because it's nationwide, suddenly exposes you to a whole country, whereas overseas, they have to come to the music in, I don't know, in so many different ways, and I don't know how they do come across it sometimes.
Those
But
kids with their
yeah,
computers.
I know. There's newfangled technology.
Yes. I bet they find it on the Instagrams.
Yeah, but it's always interesting going to a new place because it's you do not know what to expect. You could rock up to a place and have 5 people there, or the room's full. So
Well, I really want to ask you this question, but you might not want to answer it. When's the last time you've played a gig where there was just like not too many people there?
And we gladly talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
We find those experiences very humbling. And that's important for an artist to go
Yeah.
through. brings you down to earth. You're not up here all the time.
But I've never thought you had a crazy, wild ego, Michael.
No,
Yeah.
thanks. I'm glad.
That Michael.
Until
so
I played to
arrogant.
those 5 people, you would have hated me before. Yeah, like I don't know what I was saying before, but
Like, we played to some pretty. So last time we went to UK, we played to about like 10, 15 people in Leeds.
Oh,
that's
They
right,
were
yeah.
having a
Leeds.
great
The
time.
most interesting was like the Midwest of America.
Oh yeah,
That was
We were
that
speaking
was
about this
very
today.
interesting.
Yeah.
That was
that
probably.
was a learning
We
experience.
were playing in like a. I don't know if you can imagine like a. If you watch like maybe in the 70s, like where you'd have your prom, like that
little
kind of.
RSL kind of hall.
I don't know, real
Country.
weird, real old school, and I just remember seeing like just like one fat dude in the crowd.
they're like fat, like with beards and maybe a beer.
If you're listening, thanks for coming. I hope you've lost.
They might have
weight.
been massive fans.
Yeah, I know they could have been massive.
Hey, you
fans.
leave Hank out
Yeah.
of this. He drove
Oh,
3
he was
hours
loving
to
it.
see that gig.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Sorry, Hank.
you've been on the top of the charts several times and always in the Triple J Hottest 100. What's the moment that made you realize, we've made it?
Still trying.
Yeah. Made
I
what?
think there's
Do you
never
guys have
that.
different opinions? You're like, oh yeah, there was that one time when I said that.
I don't know what making it is. I
Yeah.
I
struggle.
think you're always striving to get better and better. So I don't know if there's ever that point where you can just be like, yeah, we've made
I think
it.
the fact that we can make music with the three of us, with like 3 best friends, and do what we love is insane already. And yeah, it's hard. Like, and also living in Canberra, we're so far removed. So when we go back home, it's just like normal life. So, which is why we like it.
Yeah.
I think we're just trying to always be the best version of ourselves and make the best music that we can make. Might not be the best music around, but we'll try to make the best music that we can make.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Now, final question before I do let you go. Harry, Michael, Ben, on August 9, what will you be doing? How will you be celebrating letting this musical creation out into the world?
What is the plan?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We need to talk about this because
We've discussed going to the snow.
we want to go to this. I want to go to the
Yeah.
snow because we
We're gonna be
did that
together.
last time for the last album and we had the best time. So
Playing first base, the Snow Festival?
No,
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 just
just party times.
Just here I am imagining this wild party in their hills.
Probably just
of
some wine and
Canberra.
cheese, to be honest. We're pretty fond
Wine
of the
cheese,
wine and
yeah.
cheese.
Wine and cheese.
I think a bunch of friends and everything. Just
Yeah.
come
Man,
together.
look, that was an anticlimactic response
Sorry.
there.
Should we have
I
an
think of it.
alternative answer?
Maybe if you asked us, 3 years ago, it'd be different. But I think maybe we've matured a little.
Okay, let's
which is
start
nice.
again. So what will you guys be doing on August 9?
Then we'll be bass jumping off the face.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Michael.
Yeah.
All right, bass jumping,
good.
cheese and wine.
Yeah.
Cheers, one.
That sounds
Thanks, jumping.
terrifying.
What a combo.
I mean, boys, it's always a pleasure. It's so
Oh,
good
thank
to
you.
see you grow into the entity that is Safia and watching you kick goals along the way. It's been a pleasure having
thank
you
you.
right
Thanks.
here.
Thanks
for
so
having
much.
us.
on
So much
Bill.
for having
Round of
us, yeah.
applause for the boys. From Safia, you are watching Build Series Sydney.